How do you win this fight?
That outfit is trash. For real. That outfit is garbage. And that hairstyle. Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a f***ing clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk. Name
You
it.
want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the clown, buddy. You're the clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
See, that was a weight question. How much do you think you weigh when you walk into the ring?
When I walk in the ring?
Yeah.
With or without the ankle monitor on?
That's corny. That's super corny. I don't know how much I weigh.
And I ain't us too.
Huh? What are you talking about, man?
How do you win this fight?
That outfit is trash. For real. That outfit is garbage. And that hairstyle. Anybody that ever rocked a mohawk is a fucking clown. We all know this. Anybody rocked a mohawk. Name
You
it.
want to see clowns? You want to see clowns? Gervonta, you're the fucking clown, buddy. You're the fucking clown, Gervonta. Any man who puts his hands on a woman is the clown.
I can't disagree.
I got you a poodle.
No, okay.
I can't disagree with what Jake said there. Sometimes the truth like stings. That was true.
Tank, weirdly, there's a minute of this left. It may be in here, but he had an interesting response to this where
Do we have it on here?
it was clunky as fuck. I should have it. Let me
Okay,
see.
let's play it.
Since we on this, if I put my hands on females or anything like that, right? If I put my hands on females or anything like that, you know what I mean? Female, like, come on. It would be mad. You see how when I don't even want to bring up nobody thing, what's the name about that? But P. Diddy. When things got like that, no, listen. When one female get a charge, it was mad females coming out, right? So if I hit a female, right, wouldn't it be mad other females? Like I ain't been just with one female. Like I'm 30 years old. Like let's be real. I've been with more than one female. One mad females come out and say something about me hitting them? No?
Okay.
I don't think it's best to compare yourself to Diddy ever. Tank should just not. He should not answer those type of questions. Like those are the ones where he should just plead the fifth. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. You know what? And he was stuttering. He didn't even know how to handle that, and he compared himself to Diddy. Diddy's a monster.
It was weird. One, there's a lot there. One, the Mohawk, the Mohawk thing was funny. I don't know how Jake Paul had clowns on deck like that. Did he know that was going to come up, and he just kind of summoned them when Tank was there? Some people would say, wrestling wise, this is a work. Two, or I guess three, whatever. I don't know how many points I'm making, but the domestic violence thing. We know that Tank has had allegations for years. And for this to be, because you know you're going to be asked about this. You have to know that. You and your team have to know that. And if you want to sort of skate by this or whatever, there has to be a better way to address these allegations. Now, I know people are going to say, look, charges have been dropped on multiple occasions, but we know that doesn't always mean
It didn't happen.
Right. Not
Because
to say that it definitively did, because for legal reasons, we're going to say allegedly and allegations and things of that nature. But
also listen to this. Okay, so
his rebuttal was weak ultimately. When it came to that, I also do think like but at the same time, I'm also not going to be like Jake Paul is like the protector of women for signing up for this fight.
Well, he did really put women's boxing on a platform. He is an ally. No, listen.
You want to know how he started the presser?
What?
He wanted a moment of silence for.
Oh no, no, we're not doing that. Nah. Now I'm gonna take away that comment. I'll say this though. And for the whole Tank thing, it's like it's alleged. right? But at the same time, it's like a lot of charges can be dropped. And I'm not saying this happened, but if I was a boxer, like, and I'm just thinking of with my mind, if I was someone famous, like what did Diddy do? He compared himself to Diddy. Diddy paid off a lot of people, allegedly.
Yeah,
Right?
because that's still we're still I
Allegedly.
think we're awaiting sentencing. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know, but allegedly people got paid off in a lot of situations, right? And sometimes when things go away, I'm always like, someone get paid off allegedly. But there's also like real video footage of Tank at a basketball game, like manhandling a woman.
Yeah, in
Like
the
literally,
yeah,
this is like real footage.
like the hallway or whatever. I'm not gonna
No,
pull it
no,
up because
he got her. Like it happened on court, and then he grabbed
yeah,
her,
right.
and then he like dragged her out. And like, here's the thing: like,
And
I'm
there were
not gonna.
people there who were like, it was a it was an event, it was a public event. There were people there who were like, this is years ago, like this is way before Tank had braids.
I
But
think the
still,
bigger
like,
conversation with this, and it's not to smear Tank or anything, like it's all alleged, like we're not there, right? But there has been video footage of him like this. I think the bigger conversation is that he's not the first boxer to do this, right? There has been Mike Tyson, right? There's been tons of allegations against boxers who have allegedly put their hands on women. And I think the bigger conversation is that this is why there needs to be a union in boxing to get these guys some type of therapy. And Tank has talked about therapy. He's been open about it. He said that he wants to retire a little bit early, but this is why having a union for boxing is important, because I think it's deeper than just, there's different layers to why people do the things they do, man. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not a doctor, nor am I a therapist, but Tank has been very open about getting therapy, which I think is cool. But everything else is alleged, and it is what it is. I think he could have handled that better, and you never want to compare yourself to Diddy. It's the worst thing you could do, Tank.
all good points, very good points.
Yeah.
I also would add on to that, like, I think similar to MMA fighters, although probably not as dark, but I mean, a lot of these guys are very individualistic in their business approach and are not worried about unionizing for the sake of other boxers, but would rather just look out for themselves and maybe their immediate team and immediate family around them. So the idea of a union, I think, would be helpful for a lot of people, not just Tank and potentially like just a lot of like everybody basically in boxing, the boxers especially, and they could use one now, given what's going on with the Ali Act and given the pending TKO takeover, which is already, I guess, started to some degree. But if boxers are getting their rights stripped away, a union would help. The problem is, can you get all of these people or enough of them who are very individualistic, worried about themselves, self-preservation, and money over everything? Could you get them to agree on a number of different terms and terminology in a deal that they can like have some form of agreement on something as complex as this? Can they do that? Right. And I question their willingness, not ability, but their willingness to be able to do that, even if it should be in their interest to do so. Like, they should be there should be somebody wanting a union, like somebody prominent. Like, there should be more, like, if Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, like a bunch of boxers who are probably, difference of opinion on other things, but we're like, hey, like, we should pursue this. But unfortunately, the people who are at the very top of the sport are probably not going to fight for this. Like, they're less likely to do so, I should say, because they have their money, they're taken care of, they're getting 7 figures a fight, maybe more. So they're probably less likely to do that. And the people who would probably fight for it are the equivalent of working class boxers. And you could argue like all boxers are in a working class, but working class boxers who are like dudes at club shows, club fighters, and who's really going to protect their advocacy, who's really going to look out for their best interests at the end of the day. Because, people who even watch this channel or watch any boxing channel probably only care about a select few boxers. As we just established, not many of them are very popular. So it's complicated. I do think, though, a union would be great to help out. But as far as the allegations go, like, Tank did not handle that well. And obviously, this will probably be glossed over. And Jake Paul, like, I'm not gonna hold him up for like the beacon of everything good in the world at all. You could do some digging there, but this is ultimately a clown show that's going to make a ton of money. It might outperform Canelo and Crawford in terms of viewership, in terms of money. And that's ultimately, like, to circle this back to the very beginning of this, that's ultimately why this is happening. It's just purely about money. And I've said it before on the show, we've never been, just as a society, more about money and greed and just doing things straight up for paper than we are right now. Like, it's just very, very grim, dark, and honestly, it's just where we are. It's just where we are, man. It's just,
Yeah.
like, if Tank really cared about legacy and things of that nature, then obviously this wouldn't be happening.
He doesn't. This proves it. This proves it to me, because then he would fight Shakur, then he would fight a Devin Haney, then he would fight a Teofimo Lopez. And I've been riding for Tank, saying that he is the best lightweight, but when he's not fighting the top guys in the division, it's his legacy that gets put on the line. And maybe for him, it doesn't matter, because Tank is from Baltimore. He doesn't come from a lot, but I think he wants to have generational wealth. He wants to take care of his kids. He wants to take care of his family. And sometimes it's about that too. And sometimes that's more important than legacy, right? Maybe his legacy is what he leaves behind for his family. So you just never know what people's priorities are. And I don't think we need to blame Tank for that. But as a boxing fan, this ain't it. Like, this is not what I want to see. Will I watch it? Of course. It's Tank and Jake Paul. It's going to be somewhat entertaining, right? But you want to see Tank fight, obviously, the top guys in his division. Bryan, let's quickly get to the card before we get out of here.